Okay, think about this for a second. How often do you watch like an online video review before deciding on something? A game, a movie, some gadget?
Well, constantly. They're just
Yeah,
everywhere. It's how you check things out now.
exactly. They feel so normal, almost fundamental. But it wasn't always like that.
Not at all.
So for this deep dive, we're going way back to the real early days of online video reviews. We're looking at it through the eyes of a pioneer, the creator of 3dgameman.com.
Yeah, our source is this great YouTube transcript excerpt where he talks about how, and maybe more importantly, why he started doing it.
Right. And our mission here is, well, let's unpack that journey, understand what it was like back then.
And crucially, ask,
Hmm.
how much does this early history, this sort of struggle and change from the early 2000s, how much does it really tell us about the massive online content world we're all swimming in today? Is it still relevant?
Okay, so let's dive in. The website itself, 3dgameman.com, started way back, 1998.
Ancient history and internet years.
Totally. But the move to video reviews, that didn't really kick off until around 2000, maybe 2001. That's when he started getting actual product samples from companies.
And what's really striking is how he describes that time. He calls it a lonely time for video reviewers.
Lonely.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Plenty of written reviews online, sure.
Mhm.
But he says there were very, very few people doing video. You weren't exactly finding a big community doing the same thing.
And here's the kicker, the part that honestly sounds kind of wild today. He says doing video reviews back then was extremely ridiculed.
Ridiculed.
Yeah, and almost taboo. Imagine that. This thing we take completely for granted was laughed at, dismissed.
Wow. Taboo.
But he just thought it was a fantastic idea, had that gut feeling and kept pushing.
That right there raises a huge question for today, doesn't it? That kind of intense pushback against a new format. How does that compare to, say, how new online trends or platforms get treated now? We still see that skepticism, right? That mockery sometimes before something breaks through.
Absolutely. Challenging the norm online seems like a constant battle then and now, and sticking with it back then required serious dedication. Let's talk about the work involved.
Oh, yeah. He mentions it wasn't quick. A single review could take, what, 5 to 10 hours?
Or even 15 plus hours, he says, depending on how complex the product was.
15 hours. And that's doing everything, camera setup, lights, scripts, editing.
With early 2000s tech, remember?
Exactly. So, yeah, the tools are way better now, obviously. But that core need for real time, real effort, persistence, that feels like it hasn't changed much for quality content. Still true today, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. He also built a community, which is interesting. He mentions a massive, friendly, clean forum right there on the website.
A central hub, which, again, thinking about relevance today, that's quite different from how online communities often work now, isn't it?
How so?
Well, compare that dedicated website forum to today's scene. You've got YouTube comments, Discord servers, Reddit threads, Twitter, TikTok. It's so spread out, fragmented.
Ah, right. The location of the community has totally shifted. Good point.
He also answered a couple of specific questions people had asked, which gives a peek into the details,
Oh, yeah. Like what?
like why some video numbers are missing on his YouTube channel.
Ah,
He explains those numbers belong to written reviews on the website.
yeah.
So the numbering actually makes sense if you look at both.
Gotcha. Consistent across formats.
And also, why he stopped putting bloopers in his videos after video number 697.
Right. The bloopers. Why stop?
Basically, he felt they got redundant and boring. Plus, they took up time and space he'd rather use for the actual review. Just a practical choice shows that constant tweaking creators do.
Okay, so let's circle back to our main question. Looking at this whole story, the lonely start, the ridicule, the intense effort, the early community from way back in the early 2000s. How relevant is all that now?
I think it's incredibly relevant. Seriously, it's not just some dusty old story. It's about overcoming resistance, but how new media forms take root. It kind of teaches us that what looks odd or even, taboo today might just be standard tomorrow.
Like video reviews were back then.
Exactly. And it also underlines that even with fancy tech, making good stuff still takes real work. That hasn't gone away.
And the community aspect, too. Understanding that shift from one central forum to today's scattered landscape helps make sense of how online interaction feels now, doesn't it?
Totally. It contextualizes the present.
So we've seen how online video reviews clawed their way up from being this lonely, even ridiculed idea
To being absolutely essential.
Yeah.
A core part of how we get information, how we decide things.
So what's the final thought for you, the listener? Well, next time you're scrolling and watching video reviews, just remember where they came from. Remember that humble, maybe even laughed at beginning.
Yeah, and maybe think about the next thing, that new weird-looking online format or community type that people are maybe ridiculing right now.
Could that be the standard of tomorrow? Could you be looking at the next big shift, following the path those pioneers carved out? Something to think about.